That's what the Pirates and Cubs will do today. The top seed in the NL wildcard race and perhaps more will be on the line as these two teams meet 4 times over the next 3 days. It's the Bucks and Cubs Game 1 right now on Root Sports.
After a day off yesterday, the Pirates are back at it in the first of a twin bill. Garrett Cole will take the hill for the Pirates. It's a gorgeous day for a day game here at PNC Park. The Cubs and Pirates getting set for Game 1. The Pirates just 2.5 behind the first place Cardinals. The Cubs 4 back of the Pirates. And hi again, everybody, with Bob Walk. I am Tim Neverett. The big series, yes, big series. How important is this series now with the Cubs right in the rearview mirror?
Oh, this is a very important series to both teams. It's actually huge, I think, for the Cubs, because they still are thinking like the Pirates that they want to get in and try and catch the Cardinals. But if they don't do some really good work here in these next couple of days, they can forget about that, and then it looks like it's just going to be wild card for them. So really important game to both these clubs.
Pirates hoping to get this doubleheader off to a good start. Garrett Cole will take them on. The Pirates have been watching his innings. He skipped his last start, but his last start was tremendous against the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's been just an awesome player, an awesome pitcher for the entire season. But he's always had the knack, even as a rookie, to really step up his game in the important ones going down the stretch. And this is one of the most important he has ever pitched in his young career. Hopefully, with the offense the Cubs have, he'll have his best stuff this afternoon.
Garrett Cole against Jason Hamill this afternoon. It is round 1. The Pirates and the Cubs. Stand by, lineups, and first pitch coming up on Root Sports.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
Gorgeous day in Pittsburgh today. Glad you're with us this afternoon for Buccos baseball. Game one of a day-night doubleheader. And Ernie Banks would have been proud of this one. Let's play two. I don't know if Ernie liked the day-night kind, but I know the regular doubleheaders he liked a lot.
Yeah, he would have wanted to have a full set of batting practice in between these two.
Yeah, this is a great day. Folks who are able to get to the ballpark today. This is a makeup game from August 3rd. Pirates and Cubs had played about 4 innings before it was rained out. So that's why there is a doubleheader here today. Joe Madden has done a remarkable job in his first year at the helm of the Cubs. David Ross, the backup catcher, who we would assume would be catching game 2. He is John Lester's personal catcher. Ross exchanging the lineup cards with Pirates coach Brad Fisher. And the Cubs had the day here yesterday, Bob. They had a day off in Pittsburgh, so they got to enjoy the city. And Garrett Cole, who skipped his last start, is rested and ready to go. He takes the hill. Garrett looking for win number 17 on the season.
Well, this one is big. This first game, can't sweep the doubleheader if you don't win that first one. Cole, he pitched an absolutely outstanding game in his last start. Came up big against the Cardinals. Now this one has similar type importance to it.
Great shot of Cole's first warm-up toss. Taking you right out to the mound with him. Let's take a look at the Cubs lineup. Leading off, Dexter Fowler. Kyle Schwarber's in left, Chris Coghlan in right. Anthony Rizzo cleanup batting 5th. Chris Bryant hitting .381 with 13 RBIs in 12 games against the Pirates this year. Miguel Montero catching. Starlin Castro at second base. Jason Hamill, the pitcher, bats 8th, while the shortstop Addison Russell will bat 9th.
Take a look at Cole's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. He has made 28 starts this year. Everything has been just a fantastic year for Cole. The wins kind of slowed down here in the second half. He was on a nice pace to maybe be a 20-game winner. I guess he could still do that, but won't be easy now. Get number 17 today.
Defensively behind Garrett this afternoon. Travis Snyder makes another start in left field. Starling Marte expected to start game 2. Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco also in the outfield. Jung Ho Gung at third. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop. Neil Walker at second. Pedro Alvarez at first. With Chris Stewart doing the catching for Garrett Cole. Big double last time out on Sunday afternoon for Travis Snyder. And last time Stewart had a start, he had a 3-hit ball game. Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, Coltrane derails the juggernaut. Well, this offense has been the talk, really, of the National League for about the last 6 weeks. The Cubs offense, all the home runs they're hitting. These young guys they have. Well, Cole's going to shut that down this afternoon. At least we hope, and it won't be a juggernaut. And to do that, I also think to win this ball game, we're going to have to get some long balls for ourselves. We have a very good record. We've only lost 5 games all season when we've hit at least 2 home runs. I see us hitting a couple here in the first game under this beautiful sunshine.
And 2 balls and no strikes to Dexter Fowler. Fowler, the center fielder for the Cubs, looking out at Cole, and the pitch missed again. 3-0.
Everybody in this Cub lineup except Castro has double figures in home runs. They are a power-packed team. There's no getting around that.
Kyle Schwarber, a tough out as well, young rookie.
Well, he's come up and just ripping the cover off the ball.
Ground ball toward Mercer, makes the stop. That'll be a base hit for Fowler.
Even if he was able to keep his feet, it was going to be iffy to throw out Fowler.
Allegheny Health Network Supermall slowing down Jordy's effort. Well, Fowler at first, nobody out, and here is Schwarber. This kid hits everything hard. 16 home runs in 53 games. A catcher by trade, but the Cubs have him in left field just to get his bat in the lineup. Looks like it's taking just a little bit of time for Cole to zero in here in the first inning. Fowler off for first base, and a 1-0 coming to Schwarber. High fly ball, deep right field. Playable for Polanco. Fowler tagging at first base, but that's all he'll get. As a good throw from Polanco keeps him there, and there's one out.
Polanco, knowing that he is tagging up, I'm sure McCutchen, who was going over toward him, was letting him know. So as he caught that, he already had a little bit of momentum going towards second base. And even with a great arm, you want to catch the ball, at least stepping into it when you're ready to make that throw. Everybody, you see infielders do that on every play. They get a little momentum going toward where they're throwing the ball. The outfielders have to do that same thing. You catch the ball flat-footed, even if you have a great arm, you can be taken advantage of. We've seen that a couple of times this year.
Time asked for by Chris Coughlin, and Chad Fairchild gave it to him. Coughlin's having himself a pretty nice year. 257, 16 homers, and 40 runs batted in. Playing the corner outfield spots primarily for the Cubs. And a strike on the inner half.
Good fastball at 97 miles an hour. Right on the inside corner.
Cole's 0-1 pitch. Stewart able to block that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Madden, a Pennsylvania guy himself, always reminds me of the story he told me earlier in the year. The toughest beating he ever took was in McKee's Rocks. That ball into center field, and Fowler down to third on the throwing error by Stewart.
Well, that's something you hate to see with less than 2 outs. Runner get to third base. He had a darn good jump. Stewart just had that one really sail on him. Way too high, obviously. Now the infield's going to come in and play on the edge of the grass, try and prevent the Cubs from taking an early lead on a ground ball.
One and 2 is the count to Coughlin.
You know what Cole's thinking about right there, looking down. He wants the strike 3 pitch. Doesn't want Coughlin to put this ball in play. Runner 90 feet away, just 1 out. Go for the K.
Wanted an appeal, went down to Greg Gibson, the umpire at third. He said he did not swing. So count even 2 and 2. We get a look.
He definitely went with the strikeout pitch, a real hard 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball, bounced right next to the plate. That's what you're looking for, a check swing that the umpire will say yes, he did go on. Get that strikeout, make it 2 outs. The infield can move back to their normal spots.
Cole's 2-2 pitch. Foul fouled off. A good day for foul balls today. Kids back in school, weekday day game. Might be some areas to get those foul balls today. And this one in the air to center field. This will get a run in as Fowler will score on the sacrifice fly, and it's 1-0 Chicago. That error proved big for the Cubs.
Now Cole, he was going for the strikeout, didn't get it. And I think even with a 2-2 pitch, he probably was still trying to make a strikeout pitch. He just threw a little slider right down the middle. And as it turned out, it was a fairly good pitch to get the ball in the air to the outfield on. Coughlin gets it accomplished.
Rizzo, 278 hitter, hitless in his last 2 games, so for his last 8. Takes ball 1 from Garrett. 29 home runs. It is 29th in St. Louis on the 8th of September. Finds himself ahead in the count now, 2-0. A 1-0 Cub lead. Infield single by Fowler, the stolen base, the throwing error by Stewart, and a sacrifice fly by Coughlin. Three 3-0 to Rizzo. Strike in there. 3 balls, 1 strike. Rizzo's a guy, Bob, too. He can be tough to pitch to because he seems like he crowds the plate number 1, but he can still hit that pitch inside.
Yeah, he's an excellent hitter. You know, a lot of times, too, guys crowd the plate because they want the ball in.
Payoff pitch.
You know, it's kind of a catch-22. You know, they're on top of the plate. They want the ball in. They don't want to have to try and handle a ball away from them. They want it in. But because they're on top of the plate, you know, if you can make that pitcher's pitch right on the inside corner on the hands, they'll be easy to jam. But then if you make a little bit of mistake, the ball drifts out and catches, say, 3 or 4 inches of that plate. Well, you're right in their wheelhouse then.
In the air to left. Snyder will handle it. That does it for the Cubs in the top of the first. They get a run on a hit. 1 error, nobody left. 1-0. Pirates coming to bat. Toyota lineup for the Pirates has Gregory Polanco at the top of it, and Neil Walker batting second, McCutchen third. Jung Ho Kang will bat cleanup today. Pedro batting fifth, Snyder sixth, Jordy Mercer in the seventh spot. Chris Stewart hitting eighth. Garrett Cole will bat ninth against Cubs right-hander Jason Hamill.
Take a look at Hamill's numbers on the year. Not too bad. You look at the strikeouts. Look, just one more than he's got innings pitched. 154. A lot of those strikeouts, if I'm guessing most of them, come off the slider. That's his pitch that he tries to get the outs, is when it gets you to 2 strikes. You have to be careful not to be chasing too many of those this afternoon.
Well, Hamill has done pretty well his last few starts. Comes in here today, having beaten the Pirates back in April in Chicago. Gregory had Sunday off. Just turned 24. Pitch up high and away, and it's 2-0 to Polanco. Hamill, a win over the Cardinals his last time out on Tuesday. 5-4 and 9 starts against the Bucks. 3-0. Garrett Cole giving up the 1 run, but it was helped out by the error. And that's a 4-pitch walk to start the game. So the tying run aboard just like that. Gregory heads down to first base. Defensively for the Cubs, Kyle Schwarber is in left. This rookie swings a very good bat. Dexter Fowler in center. Chris Coghlan in right. Chris Bryant is the third baseman. Addison Russell at short. Starlin Castro second baseman. Anthony Rizzo at first. Miguel Montero doing the catching. And here is Neil Walker. Walker batting .264, shows bunt, takes Hamill's first strike.
There's a nice at bat by Polanco. A lot of times leading off the game, he's not the most patient hitter in the world, as we've seen. He'll go after that very first thing he likes, but he's showing some patience. Couple of balls close down, didn't swing, worked the walk. Now we're looking to be in pretty good position here to tie this one up. There he goes.
Hit him, and it hits Walker.
Walker just going to take that pitch to let Polanco steal, and it ended up hitting him in the leg.
So Neil is plunked as he limps down to first.
A little early wildness by Hamill. Walk, and then ends up throwing it all right on the ankle. Ends up throwing inside to Walker. You can see Walker just standing there with the bat kind of leaning up on him, on his chest, totally taking the pitch because wanted to see if Polanco could get to second base.
83rd hit batsman this year for the Pirates. That's a lot. Now McCutchen up in a good spot, 2 on and nobody out.
You know, the Pirates as a team, they're a bunch of guys that hang in there. You don't see them bailing out on much. And sometimes they hang in there a little too long.
McCutchen a base hit. Polanco around third. He's on his way home. Schwarber's throw is offline, and the ball game tied at 1. An RBI single for McCutchen, his 93rd run batted in. Didn't take long for the Bucks to get that run right back.
Not right back. Hutch picks on the first ball that he likes. A fastball on the inside half, pulls it through that hole. Yeah, interesting MVP race.
Well, McCutchen came into the game tied for 4th in RBIs. Now he's got that spot all to himself as Jung Ho tries to bunt.
He's closing in on his first 100 RBI season.
He's tied with Chris Bryant of the Cubs, and now he's just 1 RBI out of third place. Matt Kemp of the Padres has 94. That's Jung Ho's gang or Jung Ho's gung? What would you say?
I think you're right either way. I don't think you can be wrong there. Although I don't know if 3 people make a gang.
Yeah, if you're big enough, you can be a one-man gang.
Okay. There's been nights where Jung Ho's been a one-man gang.
Rookie of the Year candidate. 1-1 the count. Fouls it off, and it's 1-2. MVP race in the National League. Bryce Harper, Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Rizzo, and of course Andrew McCutchen right there. He's got the second most RBIs among those candidates. Updated now to 93.
Yeah,
for
I'm one of those guys that I think to be an MVP, you got to come from a winning team. So only 2 of those guys on that list playing for winning teams. The other guys are having a great year. Obviously, Harper's. He'll probably go on to win the Hank Aaron Award.
Probably so. I would say you're correct there. He may win multiple Hank Aaron's before it's all done.
He could.
Poked up in the air behind Rizzo. Well, he'll backpedal and make the catch. That's the first out for the Pirates. Rizzo covering a lot of ground in short right field. Jung Ho back to the dugout, and Pedro Alvarez to the plate.
First baseman, number 24, Pedro Alvarez.
Now, good combination right now. Runners on base, and it's a day game, and Pedro Alvarez is up.
We need 2 home runs. First one right now would be very sweet.
127 career home runs. His next one would tie him for 13th on the club's all-time list with Richie Hebner. Ball 1 to Pedro. Hamill knows he's got to be careful with the big left-handed hitter. McCutchen at first base. Walker at second. 1 out. It's a 1-1 ball game. Way outside. 2-0. Hamill's been on a bit of a run, Bob, where he's allowed 5 hits or fewer in a career best 8 starts. The Pirates are hoping to put an end to that streak today. Green light him here?
Yep. Hope he hits it in the river.
Well, he can.
He's not in that lineup to walk with guys on base.
3-0. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Alvarez, and the bases are full of bucks for Travis Snyder.
See what they throw him 3-0. Breaking ball missed inside 3-0. They knew he was hitting.
Chris Bosio comes out bottom of the first inning. First pitching coach and pitcher meeting. So 16 pitches have been thrown by Hamill. 11 of them have not been strikes. He's thrown 11 balls out of the 16 pitches.
He really boxed himself into an early corner by putting speed like Polanco on base to get the inning going. I mean, with 4 straight pitches. You get that guy off and running. I mean, we saw with Fowler what happened. You know, Fowler off and running. Then you get the bad throw. He's at third base, just 1 out. If you're going to have a guy like Polanco get on early in the ballgame, leading off, you got to make him hit. And instead, he got the momentum going for this inning with the base on balls.
3 free passes, 2 walks, both 4-pitch walks, and a hit batsman, and a base hit by McCutchen. And Travis Snyder came up with a big double on Sunday afternoon in the 4th inning, drove in 2 runs. He's got the bases loaded here, and he takes ball 1.
I think that was bases loaded and 1 out when he hit that double. They were looking for a double play, kept pitching him down and away, trying to get him to pull the ball, and he double crossed him. Went with the pitch, got it down the foul line for 2 bases.
3 for 4 this year with the bases full. 1-0 pitch. 1-1. Snyder standing in. His 3rd start today since rejoining the Pirates. Swings through that pitch. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And now behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cole keeping an eye on his counterpart.
Cole Hamel.
That's a different guy.
Oh, missing the S.
There's a ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Russell. Walker scores. Here comes McCutchen. And Snyder delivers again with the bases loaded. 2 more runs come in. It's 3-1.
Clutch base hit going back up the middle. It looked like Russell thought he had caught the ball. He gets up and acts like he's going to flip it. Does he not know he didn't catch it? Apparently not. He gets up and acts like he's flipping the ball to the second base, unless he's trying to, perhaps
take the runner, make him slide.
Well,
Jordy Mercer takes a strike. That ball was under his wrist.
I think he's probably trying to Deke Solfield at third base, trying to get to where he didn't send an extra guy home. I think maybe that's what it was. But you could see the ball rolling in the outfield, so the Deke didn't work.
6 batters into the ball game, and Zach Roskup is already up in the Cubs bullpen. Joe Madden knows the meaning of these games this week here at PNC Park. Certainly his team 4 games behind the Pirates, and we get into the wild card situation.
He also knows he's got like the 1st Infantry Division in the bullpen too.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
80 guys out there.
But one thing we've heard out of the Cubs camp, same thing you hear out of the Pirates camp, it's all about winning the division, still with an opportunity. Pirates.
Well, and also for the Cubs, I mean, they still have a long shot to win this division, but they also have a chance to, if there's a wild card game with the Pirates, to have it at Wrigley Field instead of here at PNC Park. I mean, this is really an important game, an important series, both these teams. Everybody's pulling out all stops. Of course, I think both these clubs have been playing like this for the last 2 or 3 weeks, pulling out all stops, trying to run down those Cardinals. And the Cardinals starting to leak a little oil. Fell back a little bit, And now the Pirates just 2 games in a loss column behind them.
Cardinals open a series tonight against the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. 2 ball, 2 strike count to Jordy Mercer. Runners at the corners. Still 1 out. 3 runs in the first. Good throw to first base. Snyder back. Travis 2-run base hit up the middle. He is 4 for 5 this year with the bases loaded. His last 2 times up with the bases full, he's produced a total of 4 runs. Mercer awaits the 2-2. Jordy goes down swinging. 2 men out now for the Pirates. Mercer becomes Hamill's first strikeout victim today.
A real good slider that Hamill has. Getting a lot of swings and misses on that, a lot of strikeouts.
Chris Stewart, the 8th hitter, 292 average. On Friday against the Brewers, had his 5th career 3-hit game. His 3rd career 3 RBI performance, helping the Buccos to a win on Friday. Garrett Cole in the on-deck circle. That's good sign all the time when you see your pitcher in the on-deck circle in the bottom of the 1st.
Yes, it is. Plus, he's hitting 8th. And it might mean, and that would mean you're on the verge of having a big inning.
Line drive right to Castro. Pirates get 3 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2. And at the end of a full inning, it's the Pirates 3, Cubs 1. Travis Snyder and Andrew McCutchen with RBIs. Snyder with 2. He came through with the bases loaded again for the Bucks. Here's today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Jorge Soler has been out of the Cubs lineup since late August with an oblique strain. Began a rehab assignment last week and has gone 2 for 13 on it. He should be ready to rejoin the Cubs at some point soon. Jorge Soler, normally see him in right field. Joe Madden still has a number of bullets he can put in the gun, though, as far as the Cubs are concerned. Now Cole will face Chris Bryant to start the Cubs half of the 2nd inning. .271 for Bryant, 24 home runs. And he will take a strike from Garrett. No ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss right by him at 94.
Yeah, good location with that. Hit Stewart's glove right where he was holding this to the target. Boom, right there. I guess baseball should be pop right there. It pops the glove.
That sounds like it.
Doesn't boom the glove.
It pops it. Well, their rookies for the Cubs have been outstanding, especially Bryant, Kyle Schwarber, Addison Russell, and Soler. We just mentioned him. But look at those numbers for the young Cubs. 24 home runs for Bryant. And he goes down swinging. Well, Cole registers his first strikeout.
You look at those numbers of some of these young Cubs as you watch the strikeout, and you just realize, wow, this division is going to be so good for a long time. I mean, it's easily one of the toughest divisions in all of baseball, either league. It's been like that for a while. It just keeps getting better.
Catcher Montero takes a strike. Well, the Cubs have some young players. Pirates have some young players, including the guy on the hill, Garrett Cole. He's going to make it tough on other teams in the division for a while. There's a base hit by Montero up the middle, and he is aboard with one out. We'll get on board with Pirates baseball for next season. The Pirates are now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations and savings, and customizable memberships. Plus, 2016 season deposits receive postseason access for this year. Call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS to speak to a representative now. Starlin Castro. Strike one to him. And with the arrival of Addison Russell, you knew it was a matter of time before Castro would make that move to second base, or Russell would make the move to short, really. Really good young player is Russell, and that forced a guy who was a really good young player at one point, Castro. Still a really good player. He's just not as young as he was.
Yeah, there was rumors coming out of spring training that Castro was no longer the long-term answer at shortstop.
No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on for Chicago. 1-2. Remember Castro, when he was brought up as a young player, he was the hotshot prospect with the Cubs. And I believe he came up right after a series here. Lou Piniella was still managing the Cubs at the time, and the Pirates did a real nice job against Chicago, and they finally said, no, we got to bring him up. And a lot of baseball folks thought that they might be rushing Castro at the time. But he seemed to handle it pretty well, and all he's done is hit. Makes the occasional error, but he has come up with a lot of hits. One of the top hitting shortstops in the game. Now a second baseman, of course. Count is 2-2 to Castro. Comes with a run off Garrett Cole in the first. Pirates 3 runs off Jason Hamill in the bottom of the inning. Strike 3 called. Second strikeout of the inning for Cole. He got Castro looking.
Put a little extra into that fastball. It's right down there where that little cluster is, and that's 99 miles an hour. That closer stuff from the starting pitcher. A rare combination.
2 down to the pitcher, Jason Hamill. Swings and misses. Hamill is 11 for 59. He struck out 17 times. Cole hoping to make it 18 here. These two teams will have one more day game this week. That's Thursday, the getaway day game, an hour earlier, 12:35. There's a hopper off the glove of Cole. It was slowed down. Mercer barehands and throws him out. Nice play by Jordy on the recovery. No runs, a hit, and one man left. 3-1 after an inning and a half. Ramirez is back with the Pirates and playing beside someone who used to watch him from the stands. A certain visiting clubhouse has the players acting like kids again. And there's much more to come inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. After Game 2's postgame tonight on Root Sports. Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. Gorgeous day here today. Absolutely beautiful day for a game. We have the Pirates with a 3-1 lead here in Game 1 of this day-night twin bill. Dressed up for the ball game today. Jason Hamill pitching to Garrett Cole. Cole will take a strike. No balls, one strike. And Garrett swings and misses.
A little late on that one.
Garrett 7 for 50 at the plate this year, hitting 140. Top of the order due up next, Gregory Polanco.
His hitting goal is, I would think, probably that 200 mark every year. Wants to get at or above that.
Hamill shaking off the first sign from Montero. Throws it in the dirt, and the count is even 2-2. Well, his hitting goal might be 200, but he's actually hit well against the Cubs. He's 2 for 5 against the Cubs, 400 average. He's had good success against Chicago early in his career. There's a ground ball to Rizzo, and one out. We want to see your strongest fan photo now. Use the hashtag #PitDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. I'll show you one of those photos later today. Use the hashtag #PitDataStrongFan. It's not that early. Bottom of the second.
At some point today we'll be doing that. Tonight. The 7th inning of that night game.
Polanco tried the bunting. Foul tipped it into the glove of Montero. Bryant was playing in on him anyway. Challenging him. Strike one to Gregory. That's one of the adjustments the young players have to make when they come from the minor leagues to the major leagues. No more 7-inning games in doubleheaders. In the minor leagues, you have a pair of 7-inning games when you have a doubleheader, as opposed to in the majors where everything's 9.
And they don't have split doubleheaders either, do they?
No.
So basically, you're playing 14 innings as opposed to 2 complete ball games that are starting in the afternoon and then one again in the evening. It's definitely makes for a longer afternoon of baseball than they've ever experienced.
Polanco pops it up. Addison Russell drifting out on the outfield grass. Make the catch. And there are 2 men down. Let's go down to the third member of our crew right now, Dan Potash. Dan?
Well, guys, you were talking about doubleheaders, and I think that some members of the Cubs AAA team that were called up to the big club just a couple weeks ago were involved in a serious amount of overtime as the Oklahoma City squad took on the Iowa squad in AAA action. A doubleheader that took over 7 hours. The first game took 19 innings. The second game, they only played 7 innings. The game ended at 1 a.m. Central Time, so I'm sure when they got called up, they were happy and then saw, oh, great, day-night doubleheader. We just kind of did something like that.
Yeah, and the Cubs themselves just had a doubleheader a couple of days ago with the Phillies. So they've been doubled up.
2.
And they still have a makeup game with Kansas City. They lose an off day now. They've got to go to Kansas City to make up a single game. Number 14 patch for Ernie Banks, who passed away this year, but he would like the doubleheaders. And Walker strikes out. The Pirates gone in order for the first time today. 3-1 Bucks.
On Route Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here's our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. This date, 1978. The Bucks beat the Expos 6-1. Phil Garner had the big hit for the Bucks. A first-inning grand slam. His second grand slam in 2 days. Scrap Iron was the first National League player to do that since Jimmy Sheckard did it in 1901. Bill Robinson also homered for the Pirates, and Bruce Keeson got the win for his 7 1/3 innings of 1-run ball. Here, a 3-1 score as we go to the top of the third. And Addison Russell will lead off. Russell, the 9th hitter in the order, as the Cubs have been going with a pitcher hitting 8th and have stuck with that plan this year. I would say, Bob, they are the only team who has stuck with that. I mean, other teams have tried it, including the Pirates, in years past. But Joe Madden, he told me back in April that they were committed to it. and he has shown a commitment to it. Loves Russell in that 9 spot. So he bats the pitcher 8th.
Well, the way Russell's hitting, 13 home runs, almost 50 RBIs, mid 200 batting average, just getting better and better. I would imagine that they'll rather get him into a position to where he'll get more at bats every night than number 9. So I don't think they'll love it forever.
No. I think a while from now he'll be much higher in the order.
The position in the order that gets the least amount at bats, over the course of the season, obviously, is the number 9 spot.
So Polanco misplayed it. McCutchen able to recover and hold Russell to a single.
So you don't want one of your better hitters getting the fewest amount of bats on the team as far as where he hits. So they eventually will change that.
Polanco couldn't field it cleanly with McCutchen right there backing up.
Nice play by Kutch. I thought for a moment, no, better go back. Kutch was there.
Leadoff man aboard, Addison Russell. Now back to Dexter Fowler. Strike 1 to Fowler. He reached on an infield single and has scored the lone Cub run so far this afternoon. Stole second base, and on a throwing error by Stewart went down to third. Scored on Chris Coughlin's sacrifice fly. To left field, that's Snyder. He'll make the grab, and Addison Russell back to first base. 1 out.
Ball hit right at him. Didn't have to move much left or right. A couple steps forward.
Point Park University tweet. Bob, is there possible rhythm issues with Cole sitting out a week?
No, I don't think so. And he really hasn't sat out a week. I mean, what did he miss? Like, he missed 3 games? 3 games. So it's, I really think everybody's making a little bit more of it than it is. I mean, these games are very important here against the Cubs. Cole is the best pitcher we have. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world to move him back so he can pitch against these guys. And then also, if you look down the road and count, every 5 games, if there is a wild card game, he'll be, on course to pitch that, unless I counted wrong.
Yeah.
So
he'll pitch game 1 of the postseason, whether it's a wild card game or the division series.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, he might not have been able to pitch the wild card game if they hadn't set him up.
Correct, but this way he is set up to.
Yeah. Now the division series, you win the division, you have a few days anyway, so you can mess with your starters. But the wild card game is very close to the end of the season, and you got to kind of go with, well, that's what happened to the Pirates last year. They had to go essentially with what was their number 3 guy, or whatever you want to say. If Cole and Francisco, they were 1 and 2.
Added some Volquez. Schwarber swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So now, because of moving Cole back 3 games, then there won't be that decision that has to be made.
1 out, 1 on, and the 1-1 pitch to Schwarber. Got it by him at 97. Still 1-2 to Schwarber. The number of home runs that he has hit, Bob, in just a short period of time has been amazing. 16 home runs in 53 games. Makes you wonder what he's going to do in a full season.
You never know. Maybe sophomore jinx. Or maybe hit 40 something. Who knows?
Well, Polanco's got a beat on this ball. He makes the catch. Second time Schwarber has flied out to Polanco, and there are 2 men down for the Cubs. Schwarber 0 for 2. This will bring up Chris Coghlan. Well, maybe they'll have their sophomore slumps all at the same time.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Well,
a lot of them will be sophomores. So.
Oh, yeah, they should all slump at the same time then, right?
Yeah, if that jinx really is true.
I think we know the answer to that. And the pitch to Coghlan. That one just missed. Sacrifice fly out to center field. An RBI for him. His 41st run batted in. So he got Fowler home. Yeah, he went around. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coghlan's hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games. Good looking pitch anyway.
Yeah, it would have been a strike no matter what.
Strike 2 to Coghlan. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cole looks to me to be just as sharp as he was in his last start against the Cardinals. Able to throw the ball with excellent velocity and put it pretty much where he wants to. Tried to go upstairs with the fastball there. Did it at the letters, 98.
Throw to first. Russell gets back. Russell the leadoff base hit.
Stewart with the little trick there. He tapped the glove on the ground like he was wanting Cole to bounce this breaking ball, trying to make the base runner think it's going to be an off-speed pitch and maybe he'll run, knowing that he just gave the sign for the pickoff throw. So if you have that runner looking in, he sees that glove tapped on the ground, it might influence him a little bit, thinking, okay, they're going off speed, they're going breaking pitch, I'm going to run. Ooh, veteran catcher trick. Didn't work, but nice try.
It hit Coghlan. Got him on a foot. Let's see if it hit him or not. I don't know if it hit him.
No, I don't think it did.
Now this is challengeable. Hit by pitch.
I'm not sure that hit him. That first view we saw, it looked like it hit in front of the foot, bounced up over the top of it. It certainly didn't hit him hard enough for him to be hopping around. If it did hit him.
Clint Hurdle on the phone, and is he coming up the dugout steps?
No, guess not.
Yeah, that first angle, as you mentioned,
it looked like it bounced over his foot.
Looked like he completely missed him.
And but he was acting. You know, he was acting the way he was jumping around because it didn't hit his foot enough for him to jump around.
Rizzo takes outside, ball 1.
There it is again. Now, does this ball look like it hits the back foot or bounces over the top of it? Yeah, I think it did. I think I saw it change direction just a little bit.
Like it hit his shoelaces.
Yeah, like I said, it may have nicked him, but it didn't hit him good.
Now Cole falls behind Rizzo.
There it is, real slow.
Barely got it. Yep.
You're right. Got the shoelaces.
You limp around when your shoelaces get hit?
If you want to go to first base. Actually, I've been there, done that.
Have you?
Same deal. Breaking ball down and in when I was trying to bunt. And it hit right next to my foot, but I think it might have brushed it. I went down like I got hit with a sledgehammer. That gave me first base.
You stole first.
Yeah, well, there was no video then. So.
Yeah, you can actually steal first.
It might have hit me. It was close.
In the air to left. Snyder drifting over. And a Cubs will leave 2. They get 1 hit. We're through in 2.5 innings. 3-1 Bucks. As the Pirates and Cubs go at it, 3-1 Buccos. Nissan Road ahead tonight. Game 2 of this day-night doubleheader. John Lester, the left-hander, against Pirates lefty Jay Happ. We're on the air again at 6:30. And tomorrow night, Jake Arrieta and A.J. Burnett. Thursday at noon, Kyle Hendricks and Charlie Morton. Andrew McCutcheon leads off for the Pirates in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Garrett Cole, after giving up that run in the first, 0 cents. He's got a number of flyouts. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCutcheon. And Andrew a base hit. 2 for 2. You know, Bob, if Andrew's going to make that MVP run, this is a great week to do it. Not only here against the Cubs, but doing it on the road trip coming up.
I agree with you for a couple of reasons. One is it would be great for him to get really hot here and do damage in these games, obviously, but there's a little bit of a national exposure going on right now, and us and the Cubs and all this stuff going on, and the MVP. I mean, got to get those votes, right?
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot of eyeballs on these games. Perform well.
It's the only one right now going on in baseball, so baseball fans finding this game and watching it today. And to see Kutch 2 for 2 so far, and Jung Ho Gung 0 for 1. He popped out to Anthony Rizzo in the first. And likewise with Jung Ho, if he wants to make a run for Rookie of the Year, this is right now the time to do it. And to do it against the Cubs and perhaps the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, Chris Bryant. Two balls, no strikes to Jung Ho. Six-game hitting streak for Gung. He's 3rd among all National League rookies with 11 home runs since the All-Star break, trailing only the Cubs' Kyle Schwarber and Chris Bryant. Schwarber's got 15 since the break. Bryant 12. Bullpen going again. Trevor Cahill, the right-hander. Zach Roscoe, the lefty. .3-0 pitch. Saw something good, fouled it back.
Yeah, got a great pitch to hit. So he went after it. Fastball. Above the belt. Good part of the plate. Trying to get 2 points, 2 runs in a hurry.
The international game jersey, World Baseball Classic, and the Olympic jersey that South Korea wears. Kutch leads at first and a 3-1 count to Jung Ho. Full count now.
That one he thought maybe it was going to be a little inside. So no reason to take a run at that one when he was so far in the driver's seat on a 3-1 count.
There goes Kutch. And Jung Ho foul tips it for the strikeout. McCutchen with a stolen base. That's his 8th of the season. The man at second and 1 out.
Montero, I think, tried to throw that from his knees. I think he never came out of his crouch. Not going to get off much on your throw like that. Kutch very easy on that one.
Pedro Alvarez walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Inside to Pedro. Interesting too, first inning when he had a 3-0 count, they came with a breaking ball, as you pointed out, Bob. They knew he was going to be hunting a fastball on a 3-0 pitch, and he hits a bullet foul.
Yeah, he was hunting the breaking ball on that one. It was a hanger. It was right there on a tee for him. He blasted this one just a little too quick.
That's about as hard a hit ball as you'll see.
I wouldn't want to be that baseball.
A strike on the inside edge, maybe.
Yeah, they might have got a call on that one. Very borderline pitch.
I saw Montero move the glove, move it enough where you'd think the umpire would say that it was too far inside. And oftentimes, the catcher wants to have good hands back there and not overdo it with the movement.
Be quiet.
Pedro down on strikes.
He was able to lay off one of those high fastballs the pitch before that. Couldn't do it the second one.
Strikeout number 4 for Hamill.
I see this pitch is well up out of the strike zone.
Pitch out. They're going to walk him here. Yeah. First base open. They don't want to pitch to Snyder. They want to pitch to Mercer instead.
Well, he was able to strike Mercer out last time with a real good slider, so you can see why they're doing this already. A couple runs down. They don't want to fall further behind, and they're going to go with their best, what they see as their best opportunity to get out of the inning.
There's ball 4. Snyder aboard for the second time this afternoon. Pirates with 2 on and 2 out for Mercer.
Shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
The last 11 games at PNC Park, Mercer hitting .286. Drove in a run Sunday afternoon against the Brewers with a sac fly. And one hopper right to Russell. He'll go the short way to get the force out. No runs, 1 hit. A couple left. And after 3 full, it's the Pirates leading 3-1. PNC Park, 3-1 Pirates, each team with 3 hits. Go to the top of the 4th inning on the UPMC scoreboard. Warm day. We had some cool temperatures over the weekend, but
summer hanging on.
Yeah, it's hanging on. That's good.
I like it. Yeah, we got the few boats out there this afternoon.
Chris Bryant, third baseman, leads off. Swing and a miss to him, off speed pitch. Cole struck him out swinging in the 2nd inning. He was National League Rookie of the Month for August. And has his name in the Cub record books. Friday he broke the rookie franchise record for RBIs with 92. Surpassing Billy Williams and Giovanni Soto. They each had 86 their rookie years. And he's 1 home run away from tying Billy Williams for the rookie home run record. And Williams set that in 1961. Month by month. And a little bit of a dip in July. Struggled in July, but August really turned it around.
He still got 17 RBIs in that month of July. So as far as the run production, it's always pretty much been there. It's kind of hitter it looks like he's going to be. And a lot of guys are like it, even though when they do struggle, you know, with that batting average, they're going to hit enough home runs that they're still going to contribute to some wins. Being a middle of the lineup type guy.
Pretty anxious against Cole. Cole with the curveball.
Right on top of the plate.
The 3rd strikeout for Garrett. 1 out to start the 4th. Miguel Montero singled up the middle last time. Nothing in 1 to Montero. Cole's 0-1 pitch. Well, he's in for a strike, and it's 0-2. And the pitch on the way. And a ground ball right back to Garrett. Cole handles it. 2 down.
One hopper, right back, chest high. Cole run it over there a little bit. Flip.
Two outs, base is empty. Starlin Castro, the batter.
A lot of pitchers are a little paranoid about making any kind of a throw other than a pitch. It's not uncommon to see him run the ball over there and underhand it.
Jake Arrieta, he'll pitch tomorrow against A.J. Burnett.
One of the Cy Young candidates.
He pitched a no-hitter on August 30th against the Dodgers. This one fouled off. Arrieta with a career year. Absolute gem of a season he has put together. And I don't know. I mean, people expected him to be a pretty good pitcher this year. I don't know if they expected what he's given the Cubs. It's been remarkable. Swing and a miss, and Castro down on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Cubs in the fourth. Cole retires the side on just 11 pitches. The Pirate half of the fourth inning, and the Pirates will be honoring the great one, Roberto Clemente, tomorrow on Clemente Day. The Clemente family will be here for a pregame on-field ceremony before the Bucs battle the Cubs at 7:05. Plus, the first 20,000 fans take home a 21 T-shirt. Compliments of Helomics. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. Chris Stewart will lead off for the Pirates in the bottom of the fourth. Boy, what a day as you look out over the bridge up Mount Washington. Chamber of Commerce Day here in Pittsburgh. Cole on deck. And Stewart looking for a hit. He lined out to Castro at second base. first time up. Two balls, two strikes. The day-night doubleheader, a little different for a lot of players. There have been a number of players in the Pirates clubhouse who have not been through one of these. Typically, the doubleheader, kind of get yourself ready for it, and you know that once the first game's over, you got maybe a half hour. Stewart strikes out before the next one starts.
No, it is kind of a different thing. I mean, you know, there'll be some announcers, for instance, change clothes in between games.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it is a little different when you have a day and a night game. The old day-night doubleheader and a split doubleheader.
Thinking of anybody in particular?
You have time actually to go and change your wardrobe. You know, you get a lot of wrinkles or something in your shirt that first game, you can change. You got time to do that.
Yeah. Did you bring an extra shirt?
Well, no. I'm not experienced enough to do that.
Base hit for Cole.
What a rocket too. He ripped that ball. There were a couple fastballs by him that first time up that were elevated a little bit. Not this time.
Short to it. But right to the baseball. And for Garrett Cole, that's his 8th hit of the season. So with one out, a runner aboard, Gregory Polanco up. Goes to the backside. And Cole, big turn around second base. They're daring Montero to throw from back there.
I tell you, Cole, he is fun to watch play the game of baseball.
When you make a catch or throw from this distance, you're just going to keep going to third once he throws.
Well, I think that's what he's thinking about doing, is going to third. He was going to go to third and make him throw from the backstop to third base.
Down in the dirt. Runner in scoring position, one out. And the block by Montero prevented Cole from moving up. Montero wants time. He's got to go talk to Hamill. I can't believe you didn't bring a second wardrobe today, Bob.
Neither did you.
Well, I brought another jersey just in case. I mean, you've got to get into the radio uniform for the next game.
You got a shirt for game 2?
I have one in my bag, yeah.
No way. You're going to change.
I could spill something on this one. You never know. Cahill back up for the Cubs. You see, Greg's got a different shirt. He'll be changing for TV tonight.
Well, Steve and I will wear the same shirt for 2 games. We're not as experienced in doubleheaders as you
I was
guys.
going to bring a second shirt just like this. Then you'd never know.
Nobody would know.
Yeah, but I didn't want to.
Now, why do you feel that one's going to be too dirty to wear for the next game?
You just never know. You never know. Anything could happen. We have another meal in between games. Something could spill. I want to be prepared.
Well, I have really never had to change after a meal. Just doesn't happen to me too often.
No. I'll get Cole over to third base. 2 men out, runner at third base. Polanco 0 for 2. Walker would love to get Cole home right here at 2 outs.
I think Cole wants to steal home. Okay.
I don't know if he's going to.
Well, he carries the batting gloves in his hand.
Like all good base stealers.
That's an old school thing.
Walker lifts this one in the air to right field. That's going to get off the wall. Cole scores. Walker around first into second, with a run scoring double with 2 outs. It's 4-1.
Clutch 2-out RBI.
29th double for Walker. The Pirates have put together a very good string of consecutive games with extra base hits. And it continues.
Off-speed pitch down at the knees. Walker just rifles this off the wall. This feels so good if you're the pitcher down there with 2 outs at third base to get knocked home, extend that lead. The thing about Cole too is, watch, he does bat boy work also. He gets the bat and walks it all the way in and puts it in the rack. Does it all.
Walker chases the starter Hamill out of the ball game. Joe Madden making a pitching change. And Hamill after just 3 2/3 innings today. So Cole has helped his own cause with a base hit and a run scored this inning.
Well, that's one of the things that he always seems to have a little edge on whoever he's against because of his hitting ability. Maybe not so much today. Hamill can hit also, but you see Cahill's numbers in 18 games. But you know, when you can handle the bat, especially if the other guy is not so good in that department, just a little extra thing that might make a difference in a ball game. So far, it's made a little difference with that extra run on the board now. A little insurance.
McCutchen fouls this one back. No balls and 2 strikes to Andrew, who is 2 for 2 today. McCutchen facing Trevor Cahill, who was available as a free agent after beginning the year with the Diamondbacks. He signed a minor league deal with the Cubs in mid-August. Bounces in front of Montero. Nowhere to go for Walker. He was lucky that ball didn't go through his legs. Some good bounces down there at the plate for the catchers. Even count, 2-2. Five for 9 against Trevor Cahill. Good numbers against the Cub right-hander in the past. Two ball, two strike pitch coming. Bouncer to third, backhanded by Bryant. Goes on to first to get McCutchen. Pirates get a run on 2 hits, leave a man, and after 4 full, the Pirates leading Chicago 4-1.
Is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Kenny Ross, Just Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
4-1. Pirates. Top of the 5th inning. Business person special today. Good place for a meeting here at the ballpark. Or just to watch baseball in a tie. And a strike to the pitcher, Trevor Cahill.
You know, you think they would have brought an extra shirt, huh?
They might have spilled something on it at the game. Then you got to go back to the office. Maybe they have another one back there.
I can't believe you and Brownie are going to change your shirts for game 2. It's just amazing.
Just trying to be prepared, Bob, in case. Cahill lines one down the right field side. That's
got
a fair
it,
ball.
got it.
Throw to first. He got him. Polanco throws him out from right field. You don't see that every day. The old 9-3 ground ball out.
I mean, I've seen it, you know, a couple of times over the years. I've never seen anybody get thrown out by this much.
It's not even close.
No. Not close. I've never seen one thrown out by that much. I've seen them thrown out. Way more guys have not been thrown out than have, but I've maybe seen all these years, maybe just 2 guys get thrown out. But it's always like bang, bang.
And it's got to be a situation where the right fielder is playing in a certain area.
Well, with the pitcher, he's always playing in.
Yeah, but still, by
but
that
then the
much?
pitcher has to hit one. So most of the time, yeah, they're playing really, really shallow.
Addison Russell fouls this one off.
That was frowned upon at one time in baseball.
Throwing a guy out at first from right field.
Yeah, the pitcher would frown upon you next time you come to the plate.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It's called policing the game.
Yeah. I had one outfielder try that, and I beat it out. But he actually apologized to me afterwards. Said, I don't know, I shouldn't have done that. That was not right.
3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Addison Russell goes down looking. 2 gone for the Cubs.
It was, there you see the pitch. The reason for the apology was Dale Murphy, nicest guy in baseball.
Well, plus he didn't want to get hit.
No, it'd be the last person in the world I'd throw at.
Yeah, he is. We see him occasionally in Atlanta.
He truly is the nicest man I've ever been around in a game of baseball.
Really, really super guy. We've had him on the pregame show before. He's super. Lives out in Utah. Dexter Fowler fouls the first pitch off. Cole with 5 strikeouts. The 0-1 now to Fowler. He looks at 1. That's strike 2. Cole seemed like in the first inning took a little bit to get his sights adjusted, but now things seem to be much better for him. Fowler sitting on that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled off. Great day for a cruise along the Allegheny. The Duchess out there under the bridge now. Pulls the off-speed pitch foul. Here comes the 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I know school just started, but today'd be a good day to come down with a case of bucko fever, wouldn't it? If you're a kid in school, out to the ballpark for 2 games. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cole strikes out a pair in the inning. Halfway home at PNC Park in game 1 of this twin bill, 4-1 Bucks. set to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Garrett Cole giving some hitting instruction, apparently. Says, don't do that. Jung Ho takes a strike at the knees. Nothing and 1. Cahill's pitch inside. Jung Ho looking for his first hit this afternoon. Just a guess, but guessing Ramirez will play the nightcap at third against the left-hander Lester.
Maybe he'll play first against the left-hander.
That's possible too. Maybe Jung Ho's in there at third and Ramos gets in there first. Clint did say they have the lineup for game 2, but they don't let it out in case something happens in game 1 and have to make a change. So as soon as this one's over, they'll release the lineup for game 2.
Well, not like they've never had to make a change. They made a change the other night. It sure turned out well.
Marte got sick, and Harrison went 4 for 4 in his place.
He was on all 5 times he came to the plate. Great game. Sometimes those late scratches and changes, they turn out for the best. That one certainly did.
That is the one thing that Clint did tell us before the game, is that Marte will start game 2. He's feeling healthy. He is available off the bench here today in game 1.
You never know about the between game meal.
You never know. You got to be careful. It would have to work fast, though. Working fast to right field is Jung Ho gone. They try it. No chance.
A little easier with a pitcher.
Chris Coughlin's getting booed.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a regular. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't think I've ever seen a regular player get thrown out. I just been informed Sean Casey got thrown out.
Nobody out and 1 on, and Pedro takes inside. I wonder how many times this ever happened to Jung Ho, where guys tried to throw him out from right field.
Can't do anything about it because he can't pitch.
Ball, 1 strike now to Alvarez. Pedro walked in the first inning, struck out swinging in the third. Sean Casey got thrown out at first base.
That's what I was told. I know he got thrown out at first base on a base hit to left one time. I've seen the highlight of that. I think that was against the Tigers.
Pretty sure he'll be back here for that last series of the year against the Reds. We'll have to talk to him about it. 1-2 to Alvarez. Strike 3 called. Pedro down for the second time. First time looking. Mike Pittsburgh hosting the second bike to the ball game at PNC Park tonight when the Pirates host these Cubs in game 2 of this day-night doubleheader. Ticket packages available still at $19 and include a donation to Bike Pittsburgh. Already have tickets? Ride down and valet your bike on Federal Street before the game. For tickets, go to pirates.com/bikepgh. Snap throw down to first base, and Young gets back. Strike call to Snyder. Travis in the hole 0-2. 2-run single for Snyder in the first. Bases loaded. Travis Snider apparently is the guy you want up. 4 for 5 this year with the bases full. In fact, his one career grand slam came against the Cubs. That one's wide. Down to second base goes Jung Ho.
Chance now for a single and an RBI.
And strike 3 called. Snyder not necessarily in agreement with Chad Fairchild. The home plate umpire might have been borderline.
Well, you put it right where the glove was. A lot of times if you do that, you'll get the pitch called a strike. You know, it's odd. Cahill, he hit the glove. I mean, just an absolute perfect pitch. Where the pitch before, he missed the glove by 4 feet. Same guy threw both of them. Pitchers can be a little inconsistent at times.
Time for a knock for Jordy Mercer. He's 0 for 2. How would you know that?
I just watch him.
That never happened in the past when you were throwing the ball. You were very consistent, right?
No, totally inconsistent. You would never see a catcher sit on a corner with me out there. At my request. Everything right down the middle.
You know, the ball moved a little bit. It moved this way, moved that way.
Not because I'm trying to make it do that. If you sit right down the middle, then the announcers don't know how wild you really are.
Oh, that's a hot shot.
What a play, huh?
Russell, my goodness. Jung Ho Kang screened him, and Addison Russell corralled it, throws out Jordy. Wow, a tip of the cap defensive play to Addison Russell on a hot shot off the bat of Jordy Mercer. Sixth inning. Jordy Mercer put some good wood on this baseball, but Addison Russell there to get it. Not an easy play.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one, even if Jung Ho hadn't been leaping it. Jordy looking up, and why?
Jordy now 0 for 3 on the day. Chris Bryant, bat in his hand, hoping to hit this inning. He would be up 4th. Kyle Schwarber leads things off and takes ball 1 outside. This is the 70th career start for Garrett Cole. And his 37 career wins, tied for the second most by any active pitcher through his first 70 career starts. Time with Lance Lynn of the Cardinals the most. Tim Hudson won with Oakland as a rookie. Had 39 wins in his first 70 starts. Jake Arrieta trying to stay cool. Schwarber looks at that pitch for a ball. He's got 2 beards. That's the Pirate captain, 2 beards, sitting here watching the game today. Payoff pitch, swung and a missed. He struck him out. Well, Cole starting to pile up some Ks.
That's a beautiful hard slider. 90 miles an hour on that pitch. Stewart liked it.
7 strikeouts. One out, Chris Coghlan the batter. Coghlan drove in the lone Cub run with a sacrifice fly in the first, then was hit by a pitch and stranded in the 3rd inning. 1-1 to Coghlan. Now it's 1-2. Put something on that at 97. Cole working on a 1-2 count. Ground ball left side. Jung Ho charging. Low throw dug out by Alvarez, and there are 2 men gone for Chicago in the top half of the 6th inning. Time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's see what we came up for you with today. Oh, the minions. Linda Moore with a pirate minion. How about that?
That's strong.
That is strong right there. I'm not sure. That might be Dave. I can't be sure. They all kind of resemble one another. Rizzo pops it up. And 11 pitches again for Garrett Cole, retiring the Cubs in order for the 3rd straight inning. Great pictures on a gorgeous day from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. 4-1. Pirates leading the Cubs with Bob Walk, Dan Potash. I'm Tim Neverick. Garrett Cole and the Pirates coming to the plate in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Bush Stewart leads off, taking a strike from Trevor Cahill. Second pitcher used by Joe Madden this afternoon. Jason Hamill started, went just 3 2/3. Gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs. And 2. 1-1 the count. Beg your pardon. 1-1 to Stewart. He will take a strike now. It's 1-2. Stewart down on strikes. Second time he has struck out. Cahill trying to settle some things down for the Cubs.
Nice hand for Garrett.
Cold 45 time.
Pitching another dandy. Just 3 hits so far this afternoon.
Garrett up there in the bottom of the 6th, 1 for 2. He has thrown 92 pitches. And with the fact that he has had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings and at very manageable pitch counts, Quinn Hurdle keep him in the ball game. See how far he can go today. Hopefully he's got another manageable inning in the 7th. The pitcher is Garrett Cole's age. Teams nowadays will really keep a close eye on the number of innings that they work. And Cole goes down swinging, 2 men out. Garrett is 1 for 3. Trevor Cahill will now face Gregory Polanco, or will he? No, he won't. Rams going to more than likely bring in Zach Roskop here, the lefty. Here comes Roskop, who had been sent down to AAA for a while. A pitching change. Well, the Cub manager will take a timeout. Twins. The Cubs have 12, White Sox 11, Pirates third with 10. Josh Harrison led the Pirates to their 10th walk-off win Sunday afternoon in 11 innings over the Brewers. And it began the season, Bob, where the Pirates were walked off. They were on the wrong side of the win-loss column in walk-off wins. Reds got to them early, Cardinals got to them early, so it took the Pirates a lot to get up to 10. And really didn't even have one until, I think, late May. Left-hander Zach Roskop to face Gregory Polanco with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
And for his 30th appearance, ERA just about 4.
He throws one pitch, gets a ground ball to Rizzo.
Hitting over.
Rizzo just barely beats Polanco to the bag. That'll do it for the 6th. On to the 7th. Pirates 4, Cubs 1. Brewers need a win tonight. Pirates ahead of the Cubs 4-1. Starling Marte is out there in left field, taking over in the 7th inning. He's been recovering from the stomach flu, ready for duty today. Chris Bryant leads off, Cub third baseman. He looks at ball 1. Bryant has struck out twice. Shadows of the light standard on the first base side, covering home plate right now. This one is fisted foul over the Cub dugout.
He buried that one in deep, didn't he? It was right on the hands. Can't believe that bat stayed together. Wham.
Might have been trying to protect himself. Another swing and miss. 1 and 2. Cole's had some good swing and miss stuff against Bryant today.
Yeah, I think that was a curveball, wasn't it? Yeah. Been throwing some great hard sliders. The slider's been up in the 90s a few times.
And he goes down looking this time. Cole starts the 7th by striking out Chris Bryant.
Well, he just challenged him with a fastball. That was like right there. Wasn't much fancy about that. Didn't really put it in a very good spot. I think that's actually going to be a mistake pitch. That ball was supposed to be outside. But it is right by him, locked him up.
8 strikeouts. For the most part, Cole has done very well against the Cubs in his young career. He's 6-1 against Chicago. His only loss came this year. He's 1-1. This being his 3rd start against Chicago. Ground ball off the glove of Pedro out into right field. And Miguel Montero has his 2nd hit of the afternoon. Base hit for Montero. 1 out and 1 on for Chicago. gave it an effort, but just could not haul in the baseball. Pitch inside to Starlin Castro. Castro has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. Joakim Soria now getting up. Garrett Cole's next pitch will be his 100th. Standing alone today. Another strike. And it's 1-2 to Castro. 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was down the middle, about knee high. Really good pitch. Castro probably wishes he had another chance at that one. Cole won't give it to him. Ground ball off of Cole. Finds the baseball and does not have an out anywhere. And that'll be a hit for Castro.
Yeah, hopefully that did. Cole's not limping at all. So, but anytime you get hit down around the ankle or the foot, Cole is so important to this team. Anytime it looked like he hit the outside of his right foot. Take a look at him right now, or at least Serge can go out and talk to him. Maybe get a little reading on how he's thinking right now.
Well, that ball gets past him. The Pirates had a real good chance at a double play ball. Walker was over there.
Yeah, I mean that's true almost every single time. If the pitcher will just let the ball go through, especially with a man at first base, because somebody's cheating toward the bag anyway. You're going to have that double play.
Well, Cole will now face a pinch hitter with 2 on. Pitcher spot is 8th for the Cubs. Tommy La Stella, 162 this season, will bat with 1 out and 2 on. First pitch to La Stella is taken for a strike. Stella representing the tying run for Chicago. 4-1 ball game, top of the 7th. One and one. Stella had his first home run as a Cub September 2nd against the Reds. To left field. That ball is going to be fair. Montero will score. It's now 4-2. A double for La Stella. And now he represents the tying run at second base. So 3 straight hits off of Garrett Cole. The Cubs really unable to do much against him at all today until the top of the 7th.
And that hit's going to knock him out of the ball game. A little slicer down the line, gets in the corner for 2 bases.
Cole goes 6 1/3, leads to a standing O. Pirates up 4-2, but the Cubs with 2 on and 1 out. Terrific afternoon for Garrett Cole and company. 4-2. Cubs threatening now in the top of the 7th inning. Soria pitching to Russell. Line drive right at Mercer.
Thank you.
That helps. 2 down.
That off the bat had me a little nervous. Didn't know if it was going to be too high for Jordy to make this catch. It wasn't hit all that hard. If it had been hit harder, it might have stayed up. It started to arc down already, and Jordy easily makes the catch.
Soria to face Dexter Fowler. Fowler is 1 for 3. Goes to the backstop, and that's going to plate another run. And that run charged to Cole. It's 4-3. Wild pitch for Soria.
Yeah, fastball. It's awfully hard to block a fastball in the dirt. All you can do is try to knock it down with the glove. Not only was it in the dirt, it was wide left.
And Soria needs an out here, obviously, trying to protect this lead for Garrett. Three runs, 2 earned, and La Stella still the responsibility of Cole. Three and 0. .255 average for Fowler. And he walked him on 4 pitches. 2-out walk. And now the go-ahead run is on base. This inning has been tilted sideways for the Pirates. Cole had a run of 10 in a row set down at one point in the game.
I still have to just get one more out, get this over with. Still in our favor.
Kyle Schwarber is 0 for 3. He's flied out twice to right field and has struck out. First and third, 2 down. Throw the first, Fowler back. Fowler has 18 steals. He has been caught 7 times. And throw the first. All he can do is watch now. Throw the first again. Straight throws over for Soria. And the pitch coming to Schwarber. Ball 1. Pirates went down 1-0 in the first. Scored 3 in the first themselves. Another in the fourth. To take a 4-1 lead. Now the Cubs have put 2 up in the top of the 7th. And Soria falling behind Schwarber 2-0.
6 straight balls since coming into the ball game. Well, you can't give in either in this spot. You got to keep trying to hit the edges. Excuse me. 1 second. He's thrown 6 out of 7 pitches for balls.
Here's a strike, 2-1.
But in this scenario here, every pitch has to be a pitcher's pitch. Dangerous hitter at the plate. Tying run just 90 feet away.
2-ball, 1-strike count to Kyle Schwarber. Now it's even. One strike to get now for Soria. Soria worked a scoreless inning Sunday against Milwaukee. Got the sign now from Stewart. And the 2-2 to Schwarber. Goes to the backstop, and the ball game's tied on a pair of wild pitches. No decision for Cole today.
Boy, that is very disappointing for a lot of people, especially Cole. That was another fastball. Don't see it breaking. It looked just like it just snapped tucked out there.
This closes the book on Cole, who will be charged for 4 runs, 3 of them earned. And now it's back to square one. 4-4 in the 7th. And Schwarber down on strikes, 1 pitch too late. Stretch time, middle of the 7th. Pirates 4, Cubs 4.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 400 supported devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Visit MLB.TV today. Well, a tough inning for Joakim Soria as he has been pacing the dugout between innings here. And 2 wild pitches cost the Pirates and Garrett Cole 2 runs.
You know, it's such a tough thing for a pitcher to accept. It's not just you that you feel bad for. You feel bad because you feel like you let the team down. You let your starting pitcher down. You just, and it's so different than any other position out there.
Pedro Strop delivers to Neil Walker, who pops up the first pitch. Shallow right center. Castro makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out.
And that's really one of that I think the toughest things about being a late inning guy especially a closer, is just the mental part of that game, to be able to accept the fact that it's going to ride on you every time you go out there, and if you mess up, you're not just messing you up, you're messing up everybody. And that really separates guys that can go out and handle those roles, pitching late with a lead, closers, than from other pitchers in that bullpen. I mean, you think about it, you look out there and you see all kinds of guys, and you think just about their stuff and all that, and it's more than just stuff that makes a late inning guy. There's a lot of pitchers around baseball in those bullpens that have great arms, but it's tough to be able to handle that mentally. And seeing right there on the Soria, what you have to go through when you come in and you have that bad inning. And now you're going to have to go back out there possibly tonight and do it all over again. And you can't be thinking about what happened this afternoon. You have to be able to turn that page. And it's tough enough when it's just you that you're thinking, oh, I messed up. But he's feeling bad for the team. He's feeling bad for Cole right now.
Two ball, two strike count to Andrew McCutchen. Rolls a foul. Pedro Strope's been tough on the opposition, holding opponents to a 170 average. Side 3-2. Strope is the guy who tries to collect the holes. With 26 of them.
Well, that's a tough one not to swing at. That's having a good eye.
3-2 down to third foul.
You look at the difference between these last two pitches, and you see something about Kutch that makes him so good. His knowledge of the strike zone. Those pitches weren't more than a couple inches apart, but yet one he recognized with two strikes in a blink of an eye that it was going to be a ball. Don't swing. The seventh pitch you can see is in the strike zone. That's the one he swung at.
Swings at this one and strikes out. And there are two gone for the Pirates.
So much for my theory. He ended up chasing one in the dirt. Not such a good eye on that one. But that was a pretty good hard breaking ball.
Pitch to Jung Ho is low, ball one. Young with a base hit. Single to right field in the fifth inning. Chris Coughlin tried to throw him out from right field, but had no chance at it. Three and 0 now to Jung Ho Gun. It can be a lonely place where Joaquin is right now, revisiting his half inning. Three and 1. Pedro Alvarez on deck. Jung Ho, liner right into the glove of Addison Russell. Boy, Jung Ho hit that ball hard, but Russell got in the way. Pirates gone in order in the seventh. and do their own thing. Well, I think Dan Potash has an idea what these players will do between this doubleheader game.
Yes, I do. The Pirates could squeeze in a nap if they choose in the Regen Room, which is just down the hall from the Pirates clubhouse here at PNC Park. Players can just relax, rest. Big comfy chairs, maybe a massage would be available. Just turn down the lights, makes it dark, catch some Z's. I actually have a 5:30 appointment for a little massage. Got a nasty little knot in the back of my neck, and take care of that.
Yeah. Did you get the half hour or the full hour?
I went full hour.
You went full hour?
And like Bob, I did not bring a second jersey. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yep.
Top of the 8th inning, Tony Watson on the hill pitching.
I always wondered what that. I saw that thing on the wall said the door. Seen it for a long time now. Regeneration room. I never knew what it was.
Yeah, so you can go in and regenerate. Apparently, now you know where it is, Bob. Watson, 68th appearance. Austin Jackson is hitting for the Cubs. For Chris Coughlin.
I thought it had something to do with like making electricity for the stadium, for lights or something.
Nope.
Regenerate, generators. Power went out.
You can regenerate. Get back to full energy. Jackson in the air to right center. Polanco over. One out.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo.
One out. Anthony Rizzo, the batter. Cubs somehow tied this ball game up. 3 runs in the 7th. 2 wild pitches responsible for runs. After the Pirates have built a 4-1 lead. With Rizzo crowding the plate, Bob, and the angle that Tony pitches from, that's going to be pretty tough on the hitter. Especially when he wants one of those inside pitches.
If he puts one over the inside half of the plate, that's where Rizzo wants it. Anytime you see somebody that crowds the plate, they're not liking it when the ball's away. They probably didn't start out like that in their career, but maybe couldn't handle the ball on the outside half of the plate, so they had to get a little closer.
Chad Fairchild thought that pitch was a little bit outside. See it there, number 3 was outside, so it's 2-1. And that's a strike. Now the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tony's made a couple of straight scoreless appearances since allowing a pair of runs Wednesday in Cincinnati. Popped him up to right. 2 men out for Chicago in the 8th. And Rizzo is 0 for 4. He's 0 for his last 12.
Third baseman Chris Bryant.
So with 2 outs, Watson will now face the Cubs' third baseman Chris Bryant, who has struck out 3 times today. Garrett Cole struck him out all 3 times. Bryant hits this one up in the air to deep left center. Carrying back toward the wall. McCutchen there. He makes the catch.
Everybody in the ballpark kind of holding their breath a little bit on that one.
Tony Watson, a 9-pitch inning, retires the Cubs 1-2-3. doubleheader against the Cubs. We'll get you ready for that game starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason on Root Sports. They have 5-1 with the Pirates. He will oppose left-hander John Lester, who is 9-10 for the Cubs. A 4-4 ball game on the UPMC scoreboard as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And a new right fielder, Austin Jackson. Actually, they just flip-flopped him. He went out to right field. And now they have flip-flopped Schwarber and Jackson. So Schwarber is in right. And Jackson in left. And the new pitcher is Justin Grimm facing Pedro Alvarez. Jackson came from the Mariners, former Tiger. And Schwarber moves over to the other corner. 2 balls, no strikes to Pedro.
See what Grimm has done this year. So quite a bit of work. 55 games now for him. And he has been quite effective. A lot of strikeouts, 60 Ks in just 43 innings, almost 44. Goes 2-0 breaking ball and no swing. 3-0 now.
Well, this is certainly the inning the Bucks would love to get that go-ahead run. Got a 4-1 lead, now 4-4 in the 8th. Grimm's 3-0. 3-1.
Pedro needs to really just be picking a spot here. That'll be just what he wants. And if it is, let it fly.
Pedro thought that was a ball. Just nipped the corner, apparently.
Yeah, it wasn't what he was looking for. Certainly the strategy when you're 2-0, 3-1, it's got to be your pitch for you to swing, not a pitcher's pitch.
Now there's ball 4, and the Pirates do have the go-ahead run on base with nobody out.
And that was going to be a pinch runner for Pedro.
It'll be another Pedro, Flormon. So Flormon is at first base. Pedro Alvarez got on base, so he'll come back out. And for the first time today, we'll see Starling Marte at the plate. Chris Bosio, pitching coach, will come out to have a word with Grimm and the rest of the infield. Travis Wood loosening up now for the Cubs in the bullpen. Sailing on the Allegheny River. Not a lot of traffic out on a Tuesday. Great day to do that. I'd like to say the Pirates are sailing along today, but they're not. It's a tie game. Marte could untie it, perhaps.
It could be. Got a sac bunt here. It's a possibility. They had to hold and step off on just to see if Marte would kind of show what he might be doing. The thing about Marte, if he lays down a sac bunt, if it's a good one, he might beat that out for a base hit, still have nobody out. And the other side of the coin, you let him swing. He's got that great speed going down the line from the right side. Not the easiest guy in the world to double up.
There goes Flormon, and he is in. And that ball into center field, and Pedro down to third. Go ahead, run 90 feet away.
Pirates are rolling the dice a little bit with the steal attempt. Boy, if you're Castro, you got to knock this ball down. You can't allow this one to get to center field. And he just olayed it. If anything, you could see he's trying to get out of the way of the ball, not get in front of it. Trying to make sure it didn't hit him.
Nobody out, runner at third, infield in for the Cubs. Flourmont swipes his first bag of the year. The error on Montero on the throw. 1-1 to Marte. What a great chance to untie this game. Inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Starling. Marte hitting .393 in his last 7 games against the Cubs. And this will get it done. Flourmont tags. Here comes the throw from Jackson. Pirates lead. 5-4 Buccos on a sacrifice by Marte.
Yeah, a little payback for that first inning. Cubs got their go-ahead run at the very top of the first in a similar fashion. Flourmont taking no chances. He's going to cover up home plate with his chest.
One out and Mercer up. Well, the walk proves very, very costly to Justin Grimm. Stolen base by Flourmont, the error by Montero. And then a sacrifice line drive, really, by Marte. Hit that ball very hard. Flourmont, good speed. Ended up getting home easy. Bouncer toward the middle. Russell one-hands it and throws out Mercer. 2 gone.
Sometimes you make those changes where you put in a pinch runner, but it's just really to get somebody with a little bit better speed to where you can score if you get that base hit, something like that. But in this case, Flourmont, he basically created this situation with his speed. The steal, the error.
Chris Stewart takes a strike.
I mean, that's really a nice weapon to have, somebody like that you can put in. Clint, no hesitation making that move, obviously. And really paid off.
One to Stu. Flo did his job today.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a new shirt for game 2. That one's dirty.
It's a good thing he's got another one. He came prepared.
Bones did.
Well, somebody did.
You always have to explain how you did it once you get in there.
You always have to have
it.
It's like a post-game press conference.
It's a post-game. It's a post-play. I was looking for this. He did that.
A lot of chatter in the dugout. 2-2. And Stewart down on strikes. He'll have to run it out. And Stewart goes down on strikes. Pirates get the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pedro Florimo, pinch running for Pedro Alvarez, scores on a sacrifice by Marte. And we head to the 9th inning. Pirates up a run. Buccos as they push to run across to break a 4-4 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Marte sacrifice fly, scoring Pedro Florimo. Sean Rodriguez now out at first base for the Bucs. And there is Mark. He is on the hill.
And there are his very good numbers.
Picked up his 25th save at home on Friday night, breaking Jose Mesa's single season club record 24 that he had in 2004. He picks up a save here today. He'll tie for the club record of 46 saves in a season. Mike Williams had that in 2002. So 3 outs to get from Melanson.
Real good chance when it's all over with, he'll have that record up in the 50s.
You think so? With 19 games left after today. John Madden checking the notes, checking the matchups. And the catcher Miguel Montero will lead off for Chicago to start the 9th inning. Montero's 2 for 3. Pair of singles, and he did score 1 of the 3 runs in the 7th. And Melanson getting a sign from Stewart. Mike Williams, number 1. Mark right behind him. Jose Mesa, and then Joel Hanrahan. 2 different seasons, good ones of 40 and 36. Strike 1. What makes the cutter so effective for Mark? Why is
well, for Mark he's one of those guys that's actually a true cutter. He throws it within a mile an hour of his natural fastball. Now, some guys throw cutters and it's 5-6 mile an hour under their fastball. Really, it's nothing more than a slider, nice little short slider. But Mark's it basically is a true cut fastball, and it's going to jump in on the lefties. It's tough for him to get the head of the bat out to it. There he drops in a curveball, but yeah, that's why if you look at his numbers against right-hand hitters and left-hand hitters, why really he does such a much better job against lefties than he does righties. It's because of that cutter is so good at tying up them left-hand hitters.
Melanson ahead of Montero, 1-2. Struck him out. One out in the ninth.
And that is more of the strikeout pitch, the curveball. This is what he uses to go for the swing and a miss. The cutter is really either to set this pitch up or to get outs and get the ball put in play softly. But then it gets ahead and he goes to the hook. And this is what he wants to get the check swings and the swings and misses on, the breaking pitch, the actual curveball.
One out, base is empty. Starlin Castro, the hitter. Reached on an infield single in the 7th off the foot of Garrett Cole. Swing and a miss. He was trying to tie it on one swing.
Yes, he was. He had his fastball swing out. Got an 83-mile-an-hour hook.
And the 0-1 from Mark. Strike 2.
Watch this cutter as it kind of see it move back toward the strikes, and that's a design pitch where he's trying to throw it inside and have it just move in far enough to catch the inside corner and be a called strike. And you could see the spin on that ball, almost like kind of a spiral, like a football going in. That's what makes that ball move a little bit to the left as it goes in there. It doesn't have that true backspin that you see on a fastball. Comes a hook.
That's up in the air to short left center. McCutchen there. And there are 2 out at the top of the 9th. Cubs down to their final out. Pinch hitter Javier Baez, 289 hitter. In just 11 games for the Cubs. He's been AAA for part of the season. Now Baez facing Mark Melancon. Mark looking for his major league best 46th save. Ball 1 to Baez. That's 1 out away from wrapping up game 1. One out of Baez. Now it's 2-0. That one missed badly. Two and 0. And the pitch. Now it's 3-0. Mark falls behind Baez here. Tip for a strike. Baez took a healthy cut.
If you're going to swing 3-0 down by a run, 2 outs in the 9th, that's the cut you want to take.
Madison Russell on deck for Chicago. Strike 2. I want to see what that guy does on strike 3. Mark's got one more. Payoff pitch from Melancon. There's your ball game right there. He's going to throw down. Melancon strikes out 2. It's a clean inning. And the Pirates are now 2 games in back of the Cardinals. Melanson has tied the Pirates club record for saves in a single season of 46. That is being raised. And we take a look at the updated standings right now. The Cardinals will play Milwaukee later, but the Bucks now the closest they've been in quite some time. And 5 games now the difference between the Pirates and the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, it's really nice to get rid of that half game there, wasn't it? Nice clean look to the standings now. But yeah, really a great job, Melanson coming in and having a nice clean 1-2-3 inning here in the 9th. Get everybody fired up for tonight's game later on. Just a good, solid win. And I know Cole's line doesn't look like what he wants. It didn't get a win, but I tell you what, he did a great job. This was a nice start for Garrett Cole.
Well, the Bucks now 87 and 56, 31 games over 500. Let's check in now with Rob King and Kent Tekulve.
Tim and Bob, thanks very much. And Teak, a very important 4-game series, obviously against the Chicago Cubs, and really, really nice to win the first game of this series.
Yeah, Rob, when you come into a series